You are being programmed. Every time you open YouTube, every time you click a thumbnail where a man is screaming with his mouth wide open, every time you feel that itch to click away after 3 seconds of silence, you are reacting to code written by one person. We like to think our taste is our own. We think we watch what we want, but the truth is darker. On January 9, 2017, the internet broke. But it didn't break with a scandal or a leaked tape, it broke with a boy sitting in a chair. Jimmy Donaldson, a college dropout with Crohn's disease, uploaded a video titled, "I Counted to 100,000." It was 40 hours of footage. No cuts, no jokes, no music. Just a teenager destroying his mind for the sake of a number. Most people looked at that video and saw a stunt. They saw a kid with too much free time. They were wrong. That video was a warning shot. It was the exact moment the vlog era ended and the performance era began. Before this, YouTube was about personality. It was about connection. It was about being real. After this, it became a war of attrition. Jimmy Donaldson, known to the world as Mr. Beast, didn't just become the most subscribed creator on the planet. He didn't just build a $5 billion empire. He fundamentally rewired the human attention span. He turned creativity into a spreadsheet. He turned philanthropy into a game show. And in the process, he might have accidentally destroyed the very platform he swore to save. You clicked this video because you know the face, you know the stunts, but you don't know the cost. How did a socially anxious kid from North Carolina dismantle the logic of an entire creator economy? And more importantly, now that we are all living in the world he built, is there any way out? To understand the phenomenon, you have to look at the laboratory. And for Jimmy Donaldson, the laboratory was a bedroom in North Carolina, and the subject was himself. We love the story of the overnight success. It makes us feel like fame is a lottery ticket. If we just get lucky, we win. Mr. Beast is the antithesis of luck. Between 2012 and 2016, Mr. Beast 6000 was a graveyard of failed ideas. He was 12 years old, uploading Minecraft videos to an audience of 0. He pivoted to Call of Duty, then to commentary, then to estimating how much money other YouTubers made. The views were pathetic. By age 12, he had 15,000 views. By 13, it dropped to 7,000. The market had spoken. The market said, "You are not interesting." Most kids would have quit. They would have listened to their mothers, gone to college, and got a job at a bank. Jimmy got obsessive. He didn't want to be famous. He wanted to solve a puzzle. He looked at YouTube not as a stage for art, but as a math problem with a correct answer. He dropped out of college after 2 weeks. His mom was so disappointed she kicked him out of the house. This is the part of the movie where the hero hits rock bottom. But Jimmy didn't sulk. He unionized. He found 4 other small-time creators and formed a mastermind group. This wasn't a friend group. It was a research facility. They got on Skype every single morning. They didn't talk about girls. They didn't talk about sports. They analyzed thumbnails. They broke down videos frame by frame. They asked questions that sound insane to a normal person. What is the optimal brightness for a blue sky in a thumbnail? How many seconds can a shot last before a viewer clicks away? They did this for 1,000 days in a row. Jimmy admitted later that he studied the algorithm for over 10,000 hours before he ever went viral. He realized something that everyone else missed. The algorithm doesn't care if you are funny, it doesn't care if you are smart, it cares about one thing: effort. It craves signal. If a viewer watches a video for 40 hours, that is the strongest signal possible. It proves commitment. The counting to 100,000 video wasn't content. It was a weaponized demonstration of willpower. It was costly signaling. It told the audience, "I will suffer for your entertainment." And it worked. The views exploded. He went from a nobody to 1 million subscribers in a single year. But here is where the story shifts. Usually when a creator gets rich, they buy a Lamborghini, they buy a mansion, they start acting like a celebrity. Jimmy looked at his bank account and saw fuel. He invented an extremely high-risk, zero-exit strategy that he called the reinvestment strategy. If a video made $10,000, he wouldn't pocket the cash. He would spend $10,000 on the next video. If that one made $20,000, he spent $20,000 on the next one. He kept this up until he was burning millions of dollars a month. He treated his channel like a tech startup, running at a massive loss to capture market share. He wasn't trying to make a profit, he was trying to make it impossible for anyone to compete with him. By 2018, the Mr. Beast we know was fully formed. He was handing out $10,000 to homeless men. He was buying entire stores. He had cracked the code. But in doing so, he created a new problem. Have you ever felt exhausted after watching a Mr. Beast video? Like you just chugged 3 energy drinks and ran a sprint? That is by design. Jimmy and his team developed a style of editing that treats silence like a disease. There is a cut every 1.5 to 3 seconds. If a scene drags for 4 seconds, they cut it. If a joke doesn't land instantly, they cut it. They use a technique called Mr. Beast subtitles. Every keyword pops up on screen in a unique font and color. Why? Because they don't trust you to listen. They need you to read and listen at the same time to occupy 100% of your brain's processing power. It is dual coding. It is a deliberate cognitive overload. They realize that the human brain gets bored the moment it predicts what happens next, so they removed all predictability. They structure videos with crazy progression. They introduce a new twist or a new rule every 3 minutes just to reset your attention span. It worked. Retention rates soared from 20% to over 70%. But this success came with a terrifying side effect. It killed the soul of YouTube. Before Mr. Beast, creators were characters. We watched them because we liked them. We watched PewDiePie or Casey Neistat because of their personality. Mr. Beast proved that personality is secondary to pacing. You don't need to be charming if you have a $500,000 explosion happening in the background. And because this formula generated billions of views, everyone else copied it. This is the Mr. Beastification of the internet. Suddenly, every thumbnail on YouTube looked the same. You know the look: the mouth open in fake shock, the high contrast saturation, the red arrows. Creators who used to make thoughtful art started forcing themselves into challenges. Artists stopped painting and started painting for 24 hours straight without stopping. Gamers stopped playing and started last to leave the server wins $1,000. It became a clone factory. Channels like Morgs in the UK and A4 in Russia didn't just copy the style, they copied the videos frame for frame. A4 even photoshopped his own face onto Mr. Beast's thumbnails. Why create when you can replicate? The platform flattened. Cultural nuances disappeared. It didn't matter if you were in India, Brazil, or America, the content was the same. Loud noises, fast cuts, and stacks of cash. And then came the moral implication: philanthropy. Mr. Beast realized that helping people was the ultimate viral hook. He planted 20 million trees. He built wells in Africa. He paid for 1,000 blind people to get surgery. On paper, this is heroic. He is using ad revenue to change lives. But the internet is a cynical place. Critics called it transactional altruism or misery as entertainment. They argued that he was exploiting vulnerable people for clicks. When he posted a video titled 1,000 Blind People See for the First Time, the backlash was immediate. People asked, why is basic healthcare being turned into a game show? Why does a blind person need to be a thumbnail to get help? It raised a question about the ethics of altruism in the attention economy. Does it matter why he helps as long as he helps? Jimmy's defense was simple: if you want to be liked, don't help people. And amidst this moral debate, the machine kept growing. It reached its peak in November 2021. Squid Game. Netflix spent a decade trying to get that show made. Mr. Beast recreated it in a few weeks. He spent $3.5 million on a single video. He built the sets, he got 456 contestants. The video got over 400 million views in the first few weeks and is currently at 900 million views. It outperformed the actual Netflix show in unique reach. This was the moment the lines blurred permanently. Mr. Beast was no longer a YouTuber. He was a studio. He was a network. He was Disney, but faster. He had 300 cameras rolling at once. He had a staff of hundreds. He proved that one guy with a vision and a spreadsheet could outmaneuver the entire legacy media industry. But heavy is the head that wears the crown. You can only run at 100 miles per hour for so long before the engine blows. So what is the legacy of Mr. Beast? History will look back at Jimmy Donaldson as the Henry Ford of content creation. Henry Ford didn't invent the car, but he invented the assembly line. He figured out how to mass produce it. Mr. Beast didn't invent YouTube, but he industrialized it. He took a medium that was about expression and turned it into a medium about efficiency. He taught a generation of creators that data matters more than art. He taught us that if you want to be heard, you have to scream. He won the game of YouTube. He beat the algorithm. He got the high score. But in winning the game, he changed the rules so drastically that nobody else can play the way we used to. The era of the lucky break is dead. The era of the mastermind is here. We are living in a world optimized for retention. Our movies are shorter, our songs are shorter, our news is faster. Mr. Beast didn't just change content, he changed us. He trained our brains to demand a dopamine hit every 3 seconds. And now that we are addicted, we have to ask ourselves, are we watching the show, or is the video watching us? Jimmy Donaldson proved that you can count to 100,000. He proved you can earn $1 billion. But there is one thing he hasn't proved. He hasn't proved that you can stop. And until he does, the show goes on. Don't forget to like and subscribe because the algorithm is watching.